That this is a great region, and Jamaica and the other countries I've lived and worked in are great countries. For example, Jamaica, with a population of less than 3 million people in a global population of over 6 billion people, Jamaica and the region likewise have had an amazing impact across the globe. Who doesn't know about Usain Bolt? And how many hundreds of millions of people watched him win gold in Beijing? And Usain is just the latest in a long list of Jamaicans and Caribbean nationals, whether running under their own flags or for Canada or Britain or someone else, but people born in the region who've been within the top 1, 2, 3 people fastest in the world, both men and women. And who hasn't heard of Bob Marley and reggae music? My wife Suzanne and I were in Bangkok, Thailand last year, and we were about 2 hours outside of Bangkok in a small rural market. And there was a young woman selling fruit in that market, could speak absolutely no English, and she was wearing tie-dye Bob Marley pants. Reggae music has become an integral part of hip-hop music, and we see Caribbean artists being featured on recordings of many U.S. artists and being played around the world. I believe that 2011 will be a year with many opportunities for growth. There's a lot of very positive things happening. Indications around the region are that tourist arrivals are starting to stabilize in many markets like Jamaica growing. With a gradual improvement in major markets, remittances are starting to increase. Here in Jamaica, we've seen stability in exchange rates, stability in interest rates, and as a result, business confidence is starting to improve. And while it's still anecdotal, I've been absolutely amazed over the last 2 weeks, literally the last 2 weeks, how many business people in many sectors of industry have told me that the last 30 to 60 days have been surprisingly strong, and that they're looking forward to an even better 2011. So against this background, I believe that we're in an inflection point, and with strong leadership, we have a real opportunity of making progress, transforming our country and our region. I remember early in my career, when I was leading a small team of corporate bankers that were responsible for hotel and tourism financing in the Caribbean and Central America, and for several years, we had always exceeded the business targets that we'd been given. So as a result, you're seen as a star in the organization. But it was a year with weak economies, and I was worried of whether, I thought we could hit those targets, but I was worried of whether we would. And a senior executive was visiting one day and asked me if we would achieve the targets. And as all good politicians say, you say, well, the economy's really tough, tourism's down, and competition's really bad. I think so, but you're setting up your arguments just in case you don't meet those targets, so it isn't seen as all your fault. And after thinking a moment, he asked me a question. He said, Bruce, do you think if I were to go out around the world and find the very best corporate banker, do you think that that person could meet those targets? And I had to say, if you had the very best person, I guess there's a way to do it. So he said, well, Bruce, you need to decide whether you're as smart as you keep telling me you are, in which case you will meet those targets, or tell me right now that you aren't, and I'll go find the person who can meet the targets. Now, as we leave this conference, we leave the Pegasus Hotel today, and after 2 days of discussion and deliberation, we return to our countries, to Jamaica or other countries in the region. And all those challenges I talked about there are still out there. We still have slow economies. We still have crime problems. We still have challenges and too high a level of poverty in economies that have issues. But I believe that we are a country and a region that is great and has huge potential. I believe that there is an action plan, there is a way for us to achieve that vision of success for Jamaica, for Trinidad, for Barbados, and for the region. And I believe that we have the leadership talent to find and deliver on that action plan. I believe that there's a path to that vision, and I believe that we have the people to achieve it. Now, you and I, us in this room, are the leaders of Jamaica, of our countries, and of this region. So like my boss said many years ago, we have to look long and hard inside ourselves and decide if we say we are that good. If we say we are truly leaders, are we prepared to step up, to buy into that vision, to develop the action plans, to have the discipline to execute on those action plans, to compromise, to not point fingers, to do the things we have to do to make a difference so that we can achieve that vision? I believe that we can, and I believe that the skills are there. Because if not, then to be honest, we've accomplished nothing but talk the last 2 days. And we have no one but ourselves to blame if we come back here next year and absolutely nothing has changed. I have great confidence in Jamaica, I've got great confidence in this region, and I've got great confidence in the leaders in this region to take us where we need to be. Thank you very much, and God bless you all.
Wow. Mr. Bowen, did someone mention Obama-esque? Well, I'll take a breather while and ponder some of these things while any of you who have questions may now pose them for Mr. Bowen.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Mr. Bowen. Hi, how are you?
Good.
I am a young entrepreneur, as I said, I've been saying that for the past 2 days now. How can we package brand Jamaica into an attractive business venture in which we can use it to trade on the stock market? And you can clearly see that Jamaica, their persons are saying, what is so special about that country? There's something unique called the Jamaican gene. We produced the first black millionaire, George Stibel. We produced the fastest man on earth, Usain Bolt. And we've had so many firsts. We were the first Caribbean country to qualify for the World Cup. We don't have snow here in Jamaica, but yet still we're in bobsled, and the list can go on and on.
Absolutely.
You're saying that many persons, I believe that many persons want to change the world, they want to change Jamaica, but yet still they don't spend enough time trying to change themselves and to become a conduit and a beacon of hope for young persons to actually imitate and reproduce their successes. My question to you is, how can Scotia DBG assist me in developing a center where young persons are introduced to various self-help products and services where they can learn about possibility thinking, business development, planning and strategic development and growth, and teach them the power of the heat of the mind, and teach them that, hey, whatever your mind can conceive, you can achieve it. And why aren't there more structures, infrastructures there for young people to actually say, hey, if Mr. Bowen can do it, then so can I. And as a young person, I can say to someone else, if I can do it, then so can you. I'm not asking for a handout, I'm asking for a hand up. I'm not asking to you to give me your money, I'm asking you to invest in my mind. And how can Scotiabank assist me in facilitating to have a business development center for young persons?
Sure. I'll give you some specific answers and then a general comment. I mean, as a starting place to assist entrepreneurs in getting businesses off the ground and taking small businesses and micro businesses to the next level. I mean, we've into our 3rd or 4th year now that we sponsor the chair in entrepreneurship at UTech, and Dr. Rosalie Hamilton runs an excellent program, both doing research and figuring out what are the best ways to provide structural support to MSMEs. And she has a lot of programs going on. I'd certainly suggest, and I don't know them all, I meet with her regularly, but she's doing so many things, I'd suggest to speak to them. And there's other people, SBDC and other people that have different things. Entrepreneurship is not easy anywhere and getting things started. And you're right, we all need to balance our individual businesses and look at how we can best support growth, whether it's entrepreneurial growth, mid-sized companies. I think to your specific question, I think we need to both reach out and be accessible, but I think all leaders have a responsibility as well to inspire people who are trying to do the right thing and to point people in the right direction. Because I do see a lot of people trying to make a difference. It's not easy, and it's easy to get demoralized with it, and so I do think we have a role to play there. But specifically, there are some places that we fund. The one we put the most money to is Rosalie Hamilton's chair at UTech. But certainly, and I know after you spoke, asked a question yesterday morning, I had actually said to one of my people to track you down to talk to you so we can at least understand better and see if we can do something. But I think that is our responsibility to listen and look for ways to help. So thank you for your question.
Mr. Bowen,
Yes.
This session is a case of the best wine being served last.
You always have great analogies for me.
What I hear you saying is that good leadership is the most important, the critical success factor. Am I correct?
Yes, and probably in the shortest supply.
And I think Julius Caesar said it most famously 2,000 years ago when he said that the soldier has a right to competent command. Mm-hmm. Now, I am fixated with the issue of transformational leadership. And I would like you to help me by telling me, suggesting to me some publications and books that I can go and read to educate myself on the subject further.
Sure, and to be honest, we can talk afterwards. I can give you some specific ones that have been inspiring to me. But I think that I don't think it's something where you can get ideas from books. In the end, I think it comes from a belief in yourself, a true belief that there is some role beyond ourselves we all have to do, discipline to focus on the right things, and ability to inspire people. I mean, that's kind of off the top of my head. I'll give you some specific things, but I think most of it comes from within.
But sir, may I amplify your comment by saying that there is in fact a book on the subject that I know of. Have you heard of it? The Last Word on Power. Anybody who wants to know about transformational leadership, get hold of this book.
Very good. Thank you.
For your comments, I wanted to ask a more pedestrian question.
Sure.
When I think about how Jamaica can be transformed, one of the areas I think is from the panel yesterday, just getting more competitiveness and more technology and up to date. And so I think of renewable energy as a segment in the industry, in the economy, that could really benefit from more competition and more introduction in the market. Is there a practice, or is there an industry group, or is there any association within Scotia that's looking at how to help finance or drive, whether it's solar or wind or other micro technologies that can help companies become more active and aggressive in competing?
Yeah, I don't. I mean, we're approached by a lot of people, and I know. I think it's under Petrojam or that the government's trying to coordinate something. We have people approach us. I don't know the answer to that, but I do feel that while one of our biggest challenges is our